From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Tuesday, November 8th. We're going to have lots of sunshine today. Temps are going to get into the upper 50s to low 60s. The only real difference over yesterday is it's going to be a touch breezier than we felt. And it is Election Day. Polls are open, and they'll stay open until 6 tonight. If you're voting, you'll need a government-issued photo ID. We have made it easy for you to find your voting location and see who's on the ballot. Go to wishtv.com. It is the first story in the As Seen on Wish TV section, and it's free to ride the bus in Indianapolis today. Indigo is not charging on fixed routes or special access services through 10 tonight. The fares are waived through a partnership between Indigo and the AARP, aimed at making sure everyone has a way to get to the polls. If you don't yet have the ID or driver's license you'll need there at the polls, BMV branches are open now and will stay open until the polls close. The extra hours are in place at all branches. Normal hours return tomorrow. And as far as the elections, the balance of power in Washington is on the line as millions of Americans head to the polls. 35 of 100 Senate seats and all 435 House seats are on the ballot. Democrats currently control both chambers of Congress, but Republicans are predicting a massive red wave. Democrats have suffered significant losses in nearly every president's first midterm for more than a century. 36 governor seats are also up for grabs. Right now, Republicans control 20 of those seats, while Democrats control 16. And the current count of early votes nationally is at least 41 million. That's 2 million more than the early ballots cast in the last midterm election, 2018. Texas reports the most early voters with more than 5.4 million ballots. Florida is second. California has third most. In Colts Watch, new interim coach and beloved Colts alum Jeff Saturday has less than a week to implement a new plan for the Colts offense. Jim Irsay pulled an out-of-the-box move yesterday, firing head coach Frank Reich less than a day after one of the worst offensive performances in team history. Reich leaves the team with a 40-33-1 record in his 4.5 seasons, along with 2 playoff appearances. It's the first time Irsay has ever fired a coach midseason. He had said he'd grown weary of the ongoing offensive struggles and would reevaluate the coaching situation after the season ended. As far as Saturday, he played a key role in an agreement to settle the 2011 NFL lockout and has been a fixture in the Indy community since his rookie season in 1999. Saturday's only coaching experience is a 4-year stint as head coach at a Georgia high school. Irsay did note some of Saturday's other experience, as in earning 4 All-Pro selections, 6 trips to the Pro Bowl, and 2 Super Bowl appearances, including a win in 2006. Saturday was also inducted into the Colts Ring of Honor in 2015. Today, the U.S. Supreme Court is taking up an Indiana case that could dramatically impact the rights of Medicaid recipients. The family of Georgi Talevsky sued the Health and Hospital Corporation of Marion County after his death in 2019. He'd been in the care of one of the corporation's facilities out of Valparaiso. Now, HHC is challenging whether recipients of Medicaid, a federally run program, have the right to sue state-run facilities. If the High Court rules in HHC's favor, it would essentially strip those on Medicaid of their ability to sue if they feel their rights are violated. Talevsky's family says Valparaiso Care and Rehabilitation failed to provide adequate care. The facility denies those claims. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson has issued her first opinion since taking her seat on the bench. The newest justice dissented a decision by the court to not hear an appeal by a death row inmate. Davil Chen was sentenced to death for the 1989 killing of a man during an armed robbery. Part of that conviction came from an identification from an accomplice named Marvin Washington. Chen argued that Washington has a record that indicates a moderate range of intellectual disability, which was not disclosed to Chen during the trial. Chen says if he had that information, he would have been able to cast doubt on Washington's ability to identify him. Sonia Sotomayor was the only justice to join Jackson in her opinion that the suppressed record may have changed the trial's outcome. The head of the Oath Keepers claims that he did not know members of his group would storm the Capitol on January 6th of last year. Stuart Rhodes testified in his trial yesterday, saying it was stupid for others to go in. Rhodes is one of 5 defendants charged with seditious conspiracy and is the first to testify. Rhodes says he never tried to prevent the certification of the 2020 election. Prosecutors countered his testimony by playing audio recordings of Rhodes saying he wished the Oath Keepers had brought rifles to the Capitol. Far-right talk show host Alex Jones and his company could pay more than in damages to the families of victims in the Sandy Hook shooting. Attorneys for the families have asked a judge to order Jones pay a historic size in punitive damages. A jury found him guilty of profiting off of knowingly providing false information about the shooting last month. He was ordered to pay $965 million of compensatory damages. To new developments in the Delphi murder case. The Indiana Department of Corrections is sharing the new booking photo of Richard Allen. You can see that at wishtv.com. Allen is now charged with the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. Police arrested Allen October 28th. Authorities announced the charges 3 days later. He's been moved twice, first from the Carroll County Jail to the White County Jail, then to a state facility that the DOC has not yet named. A Miami County judge has approved a request to drop 5 of the 30 charges against Kagan Klein. The county prosecutor made the request last week, saying there was insufficient evidence to prove said counts beyond a reasonable doubt at trial. Authorities have linked Klein to the Delphi investigation, though he's not been charged. According to investigators, he used a fake social media profile to solicit sexually explicit photos and videos from underage girls. Police say he communicated with Liberty German on the account. Klein still faces 25 charges. His trial is set to begin in January. In the war in Ukraine, the U.S. State Department is looking into an American death in the war. Ukrainian authorities say Timothy Griffin was killed in combat in the eastern part of the country. American officials have not confirmed the details. If the claim proves true, Griffin would be the 6th American killed since the war started. A spokesperson for the Russian government says the country is open to negotiations with Ukraine, but that it's not possible at the moment. He cites the decree Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky last month, ruling out the possibility of negotiations. Zelensky's declaration was a response to Russia's attempt to annex 4 regions of Ukraine. A strong night for several of the state's big schools in opening night of college basketball. IU goes into the season ranked 13 and did nothing to damage that against Morehead State. Trace Jackson Davis and Malik Renault led the 15 points apiece. Final was 88-53. Hoosiers. IU host Bethune-Cookman Friday night. Butler head coach Thad Matta started his run with the team on the right foot. The Bulldogs began their season at home against the University of New Orleans last night. Chuck Harris and Manny Bates led the way for the Dogs, scoring 17 and 25 respectively. All 5 Butler starters reached double figures in the team's 89-53 victory. They traveled to Penn State Monday night to take on the Nittany Lions. 2 other Indiana schools are starting their seasons off with a win. Indiana State won their season home opener against Green Bay 80-53. The Sycamores host Ball State Saturday. Ball State hosted Earlham last night. They dominated all game on their way to a 109-39 victory. Up next, a road matchup against Indiana State Saturday. IUPUI also tipped off its season last night on the road against Iowa State. The Jags lost 88-39 in the team's opener. They'll be on the road against Drake tomorrow at 8 p.m. Finally, if a nearly $2 billion jackpot isn't enough of a story, there's added drama in Powerball this morning. The drawing did not happen on time last night. The Multi-State Lottery Association says one state wasn't able to process all of its sales on time, so they delayed the drawing. As of this moment, it's all very much a mystery. Officials haven't said if or when the drawing actually happened. They do promise to post a video of it. That has not happened yet, so we'll have to see. The jackpot is at $1.9 billion. Possibly more if sales were greater than expected. It is the largest lottery prize in history. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.